What's up, soldiers? Chris here, CaribbeanPod.com vibes it up in the kitchen. Third video in this July's month of grilling. I think we're into the 5th year now, as I said in the previous video. Today we're doing Peri Peri Chicken. Now, India took me out to Nandos for my birthday for dinner, and it was my first time having Peri Peri Chicken. While it was good at Nandos, I came home with the intention that I can improve on it. So this is my version of Peri Peri Chicken, and I think it's better than Nandos. It will be. Trust me. Yeah, and I'll agree that there's nothing actually Caribbean about this chicken, but as I said, it's influenced by the birthday dinner I had over at Nandos, and that Peri Peri Chicken, while it was good, I thought I could do it better. So here we go. We've got some vegetable oil, we're going to juice of a lemon, some fresh thyme, some hot smoked paprika. I've got some sea salt, and these are the peri peri peppers that I found here in my local grocery store. The closest thing to it, they're not hot. I tested one, they're not all that hot. So I'm going to go in with what we call bird pepper or bird's eye pepper. I think they're called bird's eye chili as well. Now, if you can't get the peri peri peppers, or my substitute here, you can use bell peppers, but just go in with a bit more of these Thai or bird's eye pepper, and it will give it that sort of heat that you're looking for. We're going to get the smokiness from that paprika. We're going to need some garlic and some red wine vinegar. Now, you can put all of this into a food processor or a blender and put it all together, but I'm going to do it the old school way. I'm going to do it traditional way. I've got some mortar and pestle. So first I'm going to go in here within my mortar is some fresh thyme, and I don't like using dry thyme, as you all know. So if you don't have access to fresh thyme, I suggest you go on the road to the grocery store and pick some up. We're going to need about 5 or 6 sprigs of that fresh thyme, and that is where we're going to get that sort of herbal element that we love so much in the Caribbean. Now here's the thing, while Peri Peri Chicken is very much African, do remember the majority of our food or cultural influence comes from Africa, as well as India and China and stuff like that. So this would fit naturally in the Caribbean as well, so don't fret. So I've got a nice whack of that fresh thyme in there. I'm just probably going to add some more later. We're going to go in with some sea salt, and I'm going to go in with, it's going to seem like I'm going in with a lot there, but that's the only salt I'm going to use today, and I'm just going to use that as an abrasive. We have the bird's eye pepper, and I'm just going to snap it. Now remember, if you're handling hot peppers, do wear gloves and wash your hands after with soap and water. I'm going to chop up some of these as well, and I'm using the seeds and everything simply because I want that heat, you know. As I said, we're doing it better than Nandos and everybody else. Oh, we almost lost one soldier there, boy. Come back here, friend. So this is pretty much all I'm putting in here. I'm going to crush it into a sort of a rough paste now, and then we're going to put the rest of the ingredients together. I usually use my hand to sort of block anything from jumping out, and I just like working that pestle down inside there, you know. I'm just going to keep working that. The salt, as I said, is going to work as abrasive, and you can see it's already starting to come together. I'm just going to continue working that until it gets to the sort of texture and consistency that we would achieve in a blender or a food processor. Got a nice crush happening in here. I don't know if you guys can see that. The camera doesn't want to zoom in there for some reason. Next up, we're going to go in with the other ingredients. So I'm going to go in with the juice of the lemon. Just putting my hands to catch the seeds. Off camera, I'm going to put the rest of that lemon juice. I've got that red wine vinegar, the smoked paprika. Go in there, Dred. Eat everybody inside there. A good whack of vegetable oil, and all the ingredients I use here today, precise amounts, will be listed in the description of the video, as well as the recipe in its entirety will be posted on CaribbeanPod.com. Next up, we're going to go in with some crushed garlic, and I know I could have crushed the garlic while I was in there with the mortar and pestle, but kind of lazy sometimes, you know. We're gonna go in with about 3 or 4 cloves, and that is the last clove of garlic I'm putting in here now. And all you want to do is give that a good mix to sort of bring everything together, because remember we have that acidity in there from the lemon juice and that vinegar, the oils, well, the vegetable oil, that smoked paprika, the garlic, the thyme, those peppers. Boy, it's all kind of niceness in here, boy. Kitchen smelling wicked. Now the goal with this peri peri chicken, we have 3 goals. 1, flavor to the bones, and to get that, what we need to do is now marinate that chicken. Now usually I would tell you guys 2 to 4 hours, but in this case I really want it done overnight. I'm doing it here in this big bowl. It's easier for you guys to see. I will put it into Ziploc bags after and jump straight into the fridge. These two chicken I cut into half. You can see I took off the sort of wing tips. They're nice and clean. And you don't want overly big chicken. These chicken were anywhere from about 2.5 to 3.5 pounds. Nothing overly big. Excuse me for a second. I just want to wash my hands. And in case you're wondering, the other 2 things that we want to achieve with this peri peri chicken, so we said flavor to the bone, we want it nice and juicy, and we also want it tender. Or especially like the chicken breast parts and stuff like that, we really want that nut to dry out, because nobody is trying to eat no dry chicken. I'm just going to pour that wicked peri peri sauce that we made here, marinade that we made, all over the chicken. Then I'm going to go in with my hands and massage that in, flip them over, and do the same thing on the other side. Then it's a matter of putting it into the Ziploc bags and in the refrigerator overnight. So there you go. It's going to go into the fridge now, as I said, into a Ziploc bag in the fridge. Tomorrow around lunchtime, what I will do is take it out for about half an hour or something. Let it come back to room temperature. Then we're going to go out and play with fire. Now this time we're not going on the propane grill. Yes, you can do it on the propane grill. That's cool, grill. I am doing it over coals. I just love that smoky element from this, and that is part of the flavor to the bone. We're gonna beat Nandos like there's no tomorrow. We'll beat Nando like Judas, man, don't worry. You can also do this in your oven, 400 degrees Fahrenheit. Remember, it depends on the size of your chicken, but it can take anywhere from 50 minutes to about 70 minutes or something. But you know what? Let's stick to the grill, man. Let's go outside and we will organize out there. As my grill comes up to temperature there, I just started the fire going there. I just wanted to point out a couple things to you guys. Here I have the chicken, which was marinating overnight. It's out now and it's coming up to room temperature. During the nighttime, a couple times, I kind of flipped it around in there. The other thing I wanted to mention is the marinade that's left back in there. Save it. Usually I add a beer to it, and that is one of my tricks or sort of tips. Yeah, that airplane is flying above there. That's a Lancaster bomber. If you're ever in the Hamilton area, you can come check them out at the Hamilton airport. But anyways, guys, bring it up to room temperature. Save the marinade. We're going to use it for the first 30 minutes or so. After that, we can't use it anymore. Put a beer in there. If you're not into beer, put some apple juice or something in there. 3 things I also wanted to point out in regards to the chicken itself. 1, the marinade I made was very chunky, and I did so purposely because I like, when I'm eating the chicken, to get little bits and pieces of that marinade in there. I didn't poke the chicken or stab it at all because I wanted to maintain the juices on the inside when I grill it. And 3, I left the skin on there. Now, if you've ever had peri peri chicken and you've had that skin, man, that's the niceness about that peri peri chicken, is the skin as well. It also helps to protect it from going too dry. So I'm going to head over there now. You can see we've got that smoke, we got that flame going. Look at that. Gosh, niceness going on. And to quickly explain my fire here, I'm doing indirect grilling, so which means the main source of my fire is there. It is pretty screaming. And on the outskirts, so on the suburbs, we've got the chicken sitting patiently. I'm going to put the lid on there. We don't want that direct heat. We want this to cook low and slow to maintain the juices and that tenderness. Remember we said we want flavor to the bone, juicy and tender. And that is exactly how we're going to achieve that. I do apologize if the video is turning out to be long, but I really wanted to explain everything to you guys step by step as I usually do. What I usually do too, if you're worried about the raw marinade going on to the chicken, I have a metal grill sort of saucepan there that I put it over the coals, and you can see it's already come up to a boil. Just gonna mix it around, and I've got that beer in there. I'm just multitasking a little bit there with some tomatoes and peppers. I'm doing a sort of a choke or something. But here's where we're just gonna keep basting that chicken. We want that to remain nice and juicy, as I said. And it's been going now for about 25 minutes. You notice from earlier I switched them around to just kind of rotate them so they all at one point face the flame. The direct heat is down there. So basically all I'm doing, as I said, is basting the chicken with the leftover marinade that's fully cooked now. But again, if you're doing it raw, I would only do it for the first half an hour. So after that, once the chicken starts cooking, you don't want to put raw marinade on there. It's gonna kind of contaminate it, and nobody ain't trying to get sick out here. It's been going now for about 1 hour. I topped up my marinade with some more beer there because I'm gonna cook that off and use that now as a sauce for when the chicken is done. So I really want that to cook that out. But here we go. The chicken have been going for about an hour now, as I said. I'm gonna continue now. It's important that you flip them ever so often. I don't have my tripod with me out here, or I would show you how I flip them. But trust me, they were flipped. I'm gonna continue cooking them until they're cooked all the way through. I had them on for about an hour and 45 minutes now. The time it takes for you to cook your chicken will vary on a few things. How hot your fire is, how close to the flame it is, you place the chicken, as well as the size of the chicken. But I'm sure if you're accustomed to grilling, you will be able to figure it out. Chris here, CaribbeanPod.com. Always a pleasure to have you guys here in the kitchen with me. We were outside, July's month of grilling, doing our thing. Remember, leave comments below. I do have a couple more things I want to say, but I don't want the video to go on for much longer. So check out CaribbeanPod.com for some more tips on making this ideal peri peri chicken. You're going to love it, man. Leave comments below. Appreciate that.